Hi guys, I'm so sorry. That is the thing about lives. Technology sometimes just does not cooperate. I'm so sorry, but I'm back. So I hope everybody's coming back because we were discussing a very important topic. Hello everyone, welcome back, welcome back. Yeah, everybody pray that the internet cooperates. Everybody pray that it cooperates because this topic is so important. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear, please give me a thumbs up or hearts or something so that I'll know you can hear. Can you guys hear me? Hello everyone, welcome back, welcome back. I'm so glad you're all back. Can you hear? Thank you, Nima. Thank you, thank you. Okay, we'll wait for Eglantina to come back because we were. Thank you. Thanks so much. Cornelia, thank you. Oindamola, thank you. Yeah, technology is what we have to rely on, right? That's the only negative about the digital space. We have to rely on technology. I was really enjoying the chat. You guys saw how passionate Eglantina is, right? She's passionate and she's so lively and vibrant. That's why I love her. I really enjoyed speaking with her at the UN. So I'm glad that we have her back. Okay. All right. Yes, so Indamola, she's very passionate. I love passionate people. Yes.
Hi again.
Yeah, the ladies were saying that you're so passionate. I said, yes, you're vibrant, you're passionate. It's so nice. Yes.
There's no
So,
way.
yeah, so can you hear me now, Eglantina?
Yes, I can.
Okay, okay. So what I was thinking about, I'm going to pin the title, but what I was thinking about with change is I just want more women to be in a position of leadership. Honestly, my spirit tells me that women in leadership is going to change the world for us. So my goal and my aim is to develop more women who are more passionate, who are more outspoken, who are more empathetic, and who can step out and start to really, really live their dreams and live their passion. Because if we can have more women in leadership, honestly, I think that the world will be better. That's my own view. What do you think about that?
Hey, I think absolutely we need more women leaders in every sector.
Yeah.
But we also need the best people to be able to tackle the responsibilities
Yeah.
that are needed in service, in politics, in healthcare, and in science, and many other roles that that we're developing. But yeah, absolutely. So that's what we do in Goliadoras. It's in a way of giving these girls a self-confidence so they can understand that they have a purpose, that they have abilities, that they can excel in whatever they desire in their lives with discipline, with hard work, with resilience, and mostly with teamwork. We need women and men to work together. We cannot
Yes.
just be
Yes.
separated. We need to have teamwork.
Yes. So tell us more about that initiative, Goliadoras. How do you pronounce it?
Goliadoras.
Goliadoras. What does
Yeah.
it mean? What does
Can
it
you
mean?
can you can you roll your R's?
Goliadoras.
Can you roll? Can you do it? A ver, aquí.
Goliadoras. I can do it.
Pero, are you able to roll your R's?
Rrr.
R, r,
Rrr. Rrr.
rico,
Rico.
rico, Puerto
Rico.
Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Oh.
Yeah. So Goliadoras.
Yeah, Goliadoras. So
Yeah.
Goliadoras is it's a non-for-profit. We're based in the United States. It's an NGO, so it's tax deductibles and an organization that works with a specific mission. Goliadoras, it's an evolution of an organization called Project Peace that I started 10 years ago with the idea of using soccer, which is the most popular sport in the world, to foster social development in the most vulnerable communities in Latin America. Goliadoras is an evolution because it's a program targeted specifically for girls, and its whole mission is to empower girls on and off the field. And through our programs, when we launched it in 2018, just right about the time that I met you, it was launched as a commitment with the United Nations that through our programs, we're going to be able to reduce 40% of the gender gap and the gender violence that exists in the American continent, all the way from Alaska to La Patagonia. We say that because we totally believe if we have girls participating in a team sport and in a sport that just by its natural essence needs to get, it promotes their intuition, their body movement, their body knowledge, the teamwork, the assessment, the resilience, the responsibility, the discipline. Once they get into that field, they accept a bunch of rules, and those rules, just by accepting and following those rules, then we learn how to play, and that's the beginning of peace. No, you're respecting the rules, you're respecting your fellow competitors, and you have a shot to having a fair game.
That's wonderful. So as you're talking, I'm writing down. So with Goliadoras, you're fostering teamwork, you're fostering peace, and you're fostering respect, right? So if that's
inclusion as well, because everybody's different. Inclusion is very important because once these girls are participating in a team and they don't come necessarily from the same zip code or from the same religious background or from the same they're all very diverse, but each one of them brings something very special to that team. One is a goalkeeper, another one is the defense, another one is a striker, but they all work together as a team with a common goal. So, the world where we're, right now, we kind of trendy, sustainability is trendy and equality is trendy. The thing is that we give a shot to equal opportunities. We give an opportunity to every girl to play in a level ground, on a ground that they are not going to be put in a second-class citizen kind of thing because of their gender or because of their race or because of their zip code. They all are the best at what they're playing, and they're all part of a team. So usually these people perhaps will not have the opportunity to relate or have that experience with one another because they don't go to the same schools, they don't live in the same areas, and while they're playing on a team, that is in a natural way incorporated into your day-to-day life. So probably, an Asian girl will be able to respect and get to know better a Latino girl and their parents, so on and so forth. And that creates a sense of community, a sense of belonging, a sense of pride for your traditions. But it's not insulting to anybody, and neither is a way of portraying it in a you have to accept me because you have to accept me. No, it's a way of, respect is something that you don't, you ask for it, you earn respect.
Yes.
And that I think is something valuable for these girls, that they earn, they through their experience, they know how to earn things, earn respect, earn wins, achievement, and change ultimately that average mindset of what can we do because of our race, because of our gender, because of our opportunities. I believe in something like a moment like now that we're having this pandemic around the world, that it has taught us that the only thing that we have for certain is constant change. And that change is something that we should not fear, is something that is part of our evolution. Sometimes it's harsh and it's like painful, but it's also that part of like the lobster, the lobster when it's, it grows from her skin, from her cover. I don't know how you say that, like her shell.
The shell.
She needs to shed that shell, and it's very painful. And that cries, and the skin comes out, and then finally, she lets go of the old shell, and she gets a new shell, and it's fine, and she has space, and everything is cool, and that's part of the evolution. So that's part of something of what we have right now, and I think we should not fear those change, and sometimes that fear, whatever.
Yes.
Come on, doctor. Sorry.
Wow.
I can go on and on and on and on.
No, this is wonderful. What you're saying, I just love it so much, because I believe that too. I believe in diversity, inclusion. I believe in equal opportunities. I believe that this color may be different. We may be black and white and orange and purple, but we're all the same people. And that's why on my platform, I don't separate black and white or Asian, or I don't say, oh, I'm just, empowering black women or these women or that. I do have a heart for young women. I have a heart for young women. I have to say that. But for me, it's young women all over the world. Maybe because
Cool.
I have daughters and I'm a pediatrician. But I just love what you're talking about. I was writing down all the words: equality, teamwork, inclusion, respect, peace, hard work, not being average or mediocre. I say this all the time to women, that you cannot accept being average. No, there's no room for average here. There's no room for mediocre. You have to aim for the best. So now, Eglantina, I know you're doing this initiative with soccer, but everything you're saying now also applies to the business world. I can take everything you're saying and put it in the business world and in the entrepreneurial world, right? So how is your initiative helping girls transition from playing soccer and going into their careers and being able to achieve their passions in the world?
Well, that's an excellent question, Doctor. I just want to say hi here to, we have some friends from Venezuela that have joined your chats. Eveta Corlauri. Well, listen, those are simple values, but they're essential to any development, to any business, to any company, to leading in any field, or to leading your own dreams and your own expectations or your own desires that you want to do and achieve in life. You need to have a sense of teamwork, to work sometimes with people perhaps that they're not necessarily equal, similar to you, or have or in any case, maybe you don't like them that much. Simple as that. But you have to get to know them. You have to get to work with us.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to create a dialogue. The responsibility, the respect, that is so essential and fundamental to it as well. But you also have to have resilience, and you also have to have abilities to be able to adapt to those changes that sometimes you were not expecting that play happening in the field, and another player came in and surprised you, and you need to be able to react. So being in that moment is something that's why we insist on doing it as a team sport, and then soccer by other reasons, but because it gives them the chance to the opportunity to be able to be present. They're running after a ball. They need to be there present. They cannot be thinking what the coach is telling them or getting. So you have to take your own choices, make your own decisions, and that you start valuing yourself. If you got it wrong, then you start getting better, and then you're working on it. And that is the essential thing for anything you want to achieve in your life. So if they want to do a business, they want to be doctors, they want to finish a career, they want to go to the space, they want to, be the first ones to achieve, break a world record. You need to have those basics.
They have to have those values. Yeah. So then let me ask you this. So then, do you think participating in sports is essential for leadership? Do you think that every girl should participate in some kind of team sports to prepare them for leadership roles?
Well, I don't think I know so. There's a huge difference in people that usually have these leadership positions and have not at some moment played team sports. Most of them have that in common. So I do it personally in my own life, and I believe it's one of the most useful and effective tools to be able to surpass, like in life. Not every day is fantastic. You're going to have challenges. You're going to have problems. You need to be able to learn and do it better, and to know that you're not alone. And as an individual, we're a colony. So we need to be able to work together as the human race. So in any case,
so mothers,
I don't know anything. I know.
Good. So if you're a mother out there, encourage your kids to play sports. Both of my daughters have played some kind of team sports or the other. I wasn't a very sporty person, I have to say the truth. I did participate in some long jump because I kind of had long legs, and I did some long jump, but not, I think only for 2 or 3 years. But yes, sports,
it's never late. You can join us now. You can become a trainer. You can join us now. But I'm going back to every mother out there to encourage kids to play in this team sport.
Soccer.
I encourage and invite every mother out there to go get to meet Goliadoras and ask their daughters to register and be part. This is more than just being. We use soccer as a vehicle to instill those values that we were just talking about: the resilience, the discipline, the teamwork. But the community of girls supporting girls is that it's a solid community, that it's not just a tournament that happens once a year or a 13-week that only happens in Queens. This is a community that we're inviting everybody to be a part of it. It's a platform that we've created for you girls, with you girls, and to you girls. So
Yes.
for,
What's
to,
the age
and
group?
with.
What's the age group?
7 to 17, but then the girls participating are 7 to 17, and now with the pandemic, we were able to create a digital to give them an opportunity to become reporters. So that is, it fosters and promotes in them the communications, the sense of like being able to listen to a conversation and create that dialogue. Ultimately, you know, without what differs us from any other animal is that we have a language that we should use to understand each other and to build that, again, that respect, to promote that love, and not to, like, you know, just go to war, because we never end up, you know, using the way of communicating. We just go by the hands. It's like, oh, you boom, boom, boom. No, like it's the power of communication and having a strong, like an honest conversation. And it's very powerful because it also gives them the opportunity to put into words what they're feeling, their values, set their values, understand when to say no, the power of saying no.
I like what you said about that. It also teaches them to be present. I like that a lot, because as women, sometimes we have our brain split into so many directions. It's hard for us to just be present and just be calm and focus on the moment. So I like how you said soccer also encourages that, you know, that it helps them with resilience, with adaptability, but also being present. Because I think that to be a good leader, you have to be able to be present in the moment and not have your, you know, thoughts and your brain everywhere. At least I think so. For me,
but
to
doctor,
be as a leader,
I think it's so important to be present, and through our childhood and our upbringing, all of us, girls and boys and everybody, we're taught to go to school. Like in your school, they will tell you, you know, how do you define intelligence? No, the amount of time that you have to predict what's going to happen next. And that's our basic problem of unhappiness, of not being able to have a real happy, you know, moment, because we're not surprised by anything. We're already predicting, and we're passing the moment of now because we're thinking what she's going to say. Even in the conversation, sometimes we're not listening to what the other person is saying. We're thinking on the question we're going to ask them afterwards. You miss everything. So, but yeah, not only for the girls and not only in soccer, in every way, I think what we do to our children with that education needs to be a little bit modified. I think it's not giving the proper results that we want, and ultimately, you know, I understand we do live in a capitalist world, and we need to make money and work, but we also need to find a balance in enjoying that work, and not to make it a pain, and enjoying the moment and enjoying our lives, and for that not to be just a constant, you know, I need to know what's going to happen afterwards. No, like we're not even on the go. We're like on thinking in the future or the past, and we just are stuck in between what was yesterday and what could be tomorrow. But what about today? What about right now?
You're right. We're either in the past or the future.
This moment is magical. This moment is beautiful. I'm super excited to be here with you, doctor. I'm alive.
Me too. Yeah,
can't believe I'm talking to you on a Sunday afternoon. Why is this happening on Sundays?
enjoy the present. I chose Sundays because people are so busy during the week. It's like people don't even take the time to just like settle down, because I know people are present on Sundays. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get their attention on Sunday afternoon.
All right.
Okay, so Glantina, let me ask you a question though. I coach women now. Most of them are between the ages of like late 20s to early 40s. I'll say mostly between like 32 to 42. But women are still very timid and they're still very shy, which is fine. I'm a shy person. People don't believe when I tell them I'm shy, but I've had to work on my shyness. I'm an introvert, but I'm also very passionate. That's the difference. I'm very shy, but I'm passionate. So I kind of balance it out. But a lot of women are not able to use their voice or to use their gifts because they're so shy and so timid. How can we help women break out of that shell? How do you encourage your 7 to 17-year-olds to, break out of their shyness?
Again, what we do is just give them the opportunity to use this platform. When they're on the field, the training program is so, it's divided in 4 pillars, which are the one that we bring into leadership, one that is wellness, and the other one is the teamwork. So basically what they have, it's a mind, body, and soul. So when they're practicing on the field, they're not just playing just soccer, they're getting an indulgement in having a 360 kind of body and mind and hard work. And then when they're not on the field, we encourage them through communication and through creative practices. As we launched a contest just recently called Goliadoras All Stars. And Doctor, that was amazing because we saw all these girls, and there's something very particular that it happens with them when they're adolescent, somewhere between 12 to 15 years old. That voice starts becoming very, as you say, shy. And I don't know, why do you think you're shy, or why are you shy is my question. You are a grown-up, successful, developed professional women in America. Why would you be shy?
Because women are concerned about what people think.
You. I'm asking you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not. Okay, now I'm no longer shy.
Okay.
I'm not shy anymore.
What changed that?
I know what changed that. Being able to find what my true purpose was. And I teach that to women now. I tell them that the minute you find what your true purpose is, the shyness goes away.
Okay.
The minute I found that my purpose was for me to go out and start recruiting women to find their voice, to be leaders, to use their purpose, my shyness went away because I didn't care. I knew that I had a mission. Okay. So the minute I was able to figure out my mission statement, the shyness went away. And this is what I coach women now. I'm like, first thing is figure out what your mission is. Once you know your mission, you know what your purpose is, then you're going to because you have to go and do the work to achieve your mission.
But you found out that purpose how long ago?
I want to say when I really found my purpose was in 2015.
Okay,
5 years ago. Yeah, I was 5 years ago. I was 45.
Imagine, took you 45 years to find that purpose.
Yeah.
A very effective way, and it's not a shortcut, is getting these girls to have the opportunity to play together, to do sports, to be able to compete and understand their voice and the power of their togetherness and their collaboration. That is something that is, if I measure it all over the place, doesn't matter where it is the most effective tool that any girl could have, and that we as a collective society should have to work together as a group, men and women, girls and boys. And the only ways that girls have the opportunity to have and to understand and to grasp that habit and to make it day-to-day, a daily practice, the habit of winning. You need to make those girls the opportunity that they know they can win, and they have to win. For them to win, they need to win together. And when they're doing the sports and when they're playing on the field, there's a sense of competition, healthy competition. There's a sense of happiness. Besides the parts that happen in your body and the outside, but what the chemical reaction that doing sports do to them, it will segregate the serotonin that they need. It will segregate all the endorphins that they need to get them happy, to open up the way they're thinking, and that mental, your mind is the one. If you believe you can do it, you can.
You will.
If you can't, you can't. So
Yes.
we need to treat this one over here. And there's
Yeah.
no better way to treat it than getting the opportunity to play in a team. You can do individual work and, sports, and you can go jump the court and, many other things, but teamwork. There's a very different kind of personality that you craft a different personality with teamwork and team sports than when you do it with just individual sports. But that's just my take. Come and try it for yourself.
So,
I cannot
so
tell
let me make
anybody
sure, and
unless
people
they
who are on,
experience it.
please ask questions. You have Eglantina here. We need you to ask questions about girls and winning and inspiring girls. Any questions you have for Eglantina, please ask.
There you go.
So the last question I asked you, I want to make sure that I got all the answers. So you said for women to break out of their timidity, they need to work as a team. They need to collaborate with other men and with other women and men, and they need to win together.
They need to come and join Goliadoras.
Yes, and they have to join I can't say
that's number one.
Goliadoras. They have to join that too. And Eglantina just typed it on here. So what? So I'm trying to wrap my head around that. So it means that, because when I think about the way that I broke out of my shyness, when I started finding my mission and my purpose and working with women, you're right. Because once I started the collaboration and I started winning with women, and they were coming back to me and telling me, oh, you changed my life, you inspired me, I was able to do this, you helped me win, then it took away my shyness. So guys, this is key. So if you want to break out,
you don't have to wait until they don't have to wait until they're 45.
Yeah.
They start playing the sport and they start joining Goliadoras from that age, a critical age, 7 to 17. It's like I don't know, it's like your muscle. It's like you learn how to dance, like something you will never forget. You learn how to play the piano. It's something that it will always be there for you, and you won't need to wait until you're 45 to find out your purpose, because it will come to you like this immediately. You'll be so determined, so focused. You will understand how to live every moment, but at the same time have a common goal. And always that goal, when they play team sports, is something that is not a selfish goal. It becomes into a collective. And I think that's very key, especially in the moments that we're living in this world right now, to start thinking about not what's good for you, it's what's good for us. And, because it's ultimately, you go to the elections now and it's like, no, because this president is good for this and this is good for that. And listen, what is good for the whole? What's good for the United States of America? What is good, because I live here now, so what's good for all of us? But in general, what's good for the world? Not as just what's good for the smaller individualistic communities.
That is, you see why I love Eglantina, guys? You see why I love her so much? Collective goals, what is good for all of us. It's kind of like wearing masks, right? Yeah, it's like wearing masks. Some people say, oh, no, it's my right not to wear masks. You cannot tell me what to do. I'll do whatever I want to do. But it's not about you. It's about protecting everybody, protecting the elderly, protecting our grandmas and grandpas, protecting people who are on chemotherapy, protecting people who have chronic illnesses.
Protecting our youth.
Yeah, protecting our youth, protecting everybody. You don't want to wear a mask because you are healthy. But what about everybody else? So this is so important, being selfless. We have to learn to be selfless and to have collective goals. Oyinda Mola asked a question for you, Eglantina. She said, aside from sports, what other activities would you recommend for girls to build those skills?
Well, the thing is that, as I explained a little bit before, sports has the component that it makes 360. So that's why it's so effective, because it works your mind, it works your body, and it works your soul, your spirit. So I cannot, yes, music can elevate your spirit, but then your body perhaps not. So I wouldn't say there's anything that can compare to a model so well prepared as the Goliadoras model. Goliadoras was, as I told you, is an evolution of this organization. I got invited to the UN by the youth committee a little bit about a year before we met. And I wrote this manifest called Girls with Balls because for me, as an 8-year experience working in Haiti, in Venezuela, and Mexico, developing projects through soccer to build that community, especially in the most vulnerable communities, what I found that was more bothering me, and what I thought it was the biggest problem to achieve that, to achieve the progress in those communities, but also to eradicate the poverty and the whole problems at the center of the family, was that the women were being held behind. And most of these girls at this at a young age, either they were trained or they were set up into, abuses. And by the time they were very young, by the time they're 13, 14, they already have one kid. By the time they were 18, they have 3 kids from three different men. Yeah. Never got the chance to study, never got a chance. And that is the continuous curve of poverty, that line keeps going down and down and down. And if you can stop that and you can start changing bit by bit, then that line of poverty will be eventually eradicated. We won't have those horrible scenes of poverty, of misery that yes. That most of our countries in most of the world it's living. So I wrote that manifest. There's Girls with Balls, because also the girls need to be able to stand up, and I need them to be able to speak. And at 7 years old and at 10 years old, and when there's 12 and 13, not for them to silent. They need to be able to speak up. And if they have 4 girlfriends, the uncle or the boyfriend is not going to abuse her. Usually the ones who abuse her is a friend similar, that's the worst. They don't trust anybody. So this yes. teamwork and this team idea, this opportunity that Goliadoras is built, it's built with also giving them that trust, that to build on a trust on each other, because one's got their back. They never give up. And it's a model that it was after the Girls with Balls. It's a model that was developed by the University of Columbia, the School of Economics. Jeffrey Sachs was at that speech that I gave, and they did the whole analysis of how this can impact not only the girls, not only our society, not only doubling the efforts to progress, but how can it actually be a possibility to eradicate poverty. So it's something so simple, something super cost effective. Then the branding was done by this incredible advertising company, because girls and their mothers and their families or their friends have this idea that they cannot play soccer because that's a men's game. So we need to start by changing those mindsets. So we went to a great agency. They did our whole logo and branding, Sachi, and it's our partners. And then we needed to be able to measure the impact. So we have a program that it's completely designed for it not to have the 360 possibilities to eradicate that poverty, to get girls in positions of power, to get them to become leaders, to become the best mothers, to become the best whatever they want to do, with love, with kindness, but also with the knowledge that they are the best at whatever they chose, and that they can do, always can achieve, and should dream bigger.
Yes.
And that I've never found something that will give them and help them that much more than that, than sports, than team sports, and specifically in the soccer. And hey, listen, in the U.S., female soccer is just like the most fastest growing
it is
sport.
Yeah,
this huge winners. So
yes,
hey, you can show us. Yeah, sometimes my dad will say like, oh, it's impossible. Girls cannot be better because they're not stronger than men. And it's like, I wish you can play soccer, a tennis match with Venus Williams or with Serena. Yes. Maybe perhaps you will think differently.
Right, exactly. Tennis is great too. And as you're talking, I'm thinking about everything you're saying, and I'm thinking to myself, you're right, because even if you look at music is good for the mind, it's good for the soul. There's not much you do with the body, right? When thinking of other creative arts, like artwork, like painting or drawing, yes, you're using your mind and your soul, not much with the body. And if you really think about happiness, because I have my book, Permanent Happiness, as you're talking, I'm thinking what you're talking about is permanent happiness, because for you to be happy, you have to nourish your spirit and you have to nourish your body. You cannot be happy if you're not moving your body and going outside and exercising and doing things to relax and have peace. And then you have to also use your gifts to help people elevate. That's one of my ways of happiness. So everything you're saying is actually in my book, In Permanent Happiness, because yeah, basically, you know, you have to exercise, you have to use your body, you have to exercise, nourish your body, you have to nourish your soul, you have to participate in collaboration and elevation and teamwork to be happy. So guys, no wonder when people are talking about the business world, they also talk about the sports world. I see it in so many examples when people talk about the business, being a business leader, they're like, you just have to think like an athlete, right?
Yeah.
So you're onto something here. Yeah, if you think like an athlete, then that's going to help you start to lead. I have another question for you, and you guys, please ask questions. Yes, in books. Oyindamola, what do you mean by yes in books? Tell us what you mean. Can you type that? You know, because in books, yes, you're reading. In books, you're using your mind and your soul, right? But not really your body.
Hey, listen, doctor, but I think it's like the body is just your biggest instrument.
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
and we need to be able to foster it and use it and learn how it works since a young age.
Absolutely.
So that's why I say, like, yeah, it's good to, and I don't think, as I say, the only permanent thing that we have in life is changes. So not every day we're going to be happy, but when you work, you don't stay at a unhappy place. You change. Right. So even things might be happening to you, but you know that also that's going to change. And sports and exercise, it's the fastest way of liberating your body from pressure, from stress. There's all other practices, but at a young age, it's like a DNA. It goes into their system. It's like you already put the chip in these kids, in these young girls. They will have it forever. They will never forget it as long as they have that experience to be able to play in team sports. So that's why, you know, we say what we do. And let's see who else, because I need to run, doctor.
Oh, you have to go?
Yes.
Can I ask you one last question before you go?
Tell me.
Women who are listening to this, they're going to say, oh yeah, we know what they're saying, teamwork and leadership, but how am I going to cope with my kids and my housework and my husband, and I don't have time for this. I'm no longer 17, I'm 28 years old, I have 4 kids, I'm stressed out, I'm overwhelmed. How do we help those young mothers? How do we help them with everything they're dealing with for them to be able to achieve leadership? How do we do that? And then that's my last question.
Hey, listen, I think the world could be full of excuses. And if you want to make up excuses to be able, we all have the same 24 hours. So sometimes we wonder, how can other people do it? And we've seen other women with 4 kids, with different stories, other men also can do many other things. So I think start by not putting excuses and saying you cannot do it, and start by incorporating small little practices in your single day life. And also, if you have 4 kids, send the 4 kids to Goliadoras. Say, put them to, you know, you already have a small soccer team, so take advantage of it. You have to, you know, turn the optical, like the way we see things, sometimes the perspective. Try to shift it. But doctor, you know, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. This was wonderful.
This pandemic ends very soon, and I get to see you in person, and we can go back to the UN and raise our voices together. And congratulations on the work you're doing. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Felicidades.
Thank you. You too. Thank you so much. And I'm going to make sure I send people to Goliadoras and my kids too.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for joining.
It's also a digital community as well.
Yes.
And you have wonderful audience.
Yes.
Thank you all for being here.
They love you. They love you.
No, de verdad. Thank you for so much heart, so much love this Sunday, for, you know, bringing so much joy into my Sunday.
Thank you. Thanks, Eglantina.
We'll wait for you in Goliadoras.
Yes. Yeah, we'll be there. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Wow, congrats.
Bye.